Bounce back game had to have it at Ball Arena on Saturday afternoon, early evening, as the Avs handled the Chicago Blackhawks with an empty netter by a final score of 3-1. As we welcome you into Between the Pipes here tonight, Alex Ryanemi, Mark Springer over there, coming off the Minnesota win. It's almost as if that game was never played, Spring, right? The Avs come back, they get their 2 points against Chicago. But what happened last night between Minnesota and Utah was a 5-2 win for the Mammoth. It's basically like that game, as far as the standings are concerned, was never played.
That's hilarious. That is that's 3D chess right there. And
sure is.
Yeah, it's the toughest back-to-back in the NHL. Denver to Utah, Utah to Denver, whichever way you want to put it. And Minnesota had to go to Utah last night. Definitely took note of, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough for Minnesota. And then, Chicago, hey, Connor Bedard gets the lone goal for Chicago in this game. It's on the power play. And he's got a good shot, Raj. That Connor Bedard does have a good shot.
It's a good-looking shot.
He's going to be a good player. He wasn't on the Olympic team, Team Canada, but he certainly will be next go round. Avs get a power play goal of their own, though. And it's a man who I thought was excellent in the gold medal game, despite losing. It was Cale Makar. And, what I liked about, actually, this wasn't on was that not on the power play? Why did I think that was on the power play?
It was about 3 seconds after the power play ended. So there were 4 Chicago defenders in the zone, and the fifth guy was coming in out of the box. I think he was like 3 or 4 feet behind Cale Makar as he shot that puck. So not technically a power play goal, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, yeah, it's with a man advantage.
Yeah. Well, that's a shame because I would like to add a power play goal to their ledger. But hey, what I noticed about this one was, once again, Natchez, MacKinnon on the same side, on that left side, but they really, now they took Marty Natchez kind of more in that high left wing role, MacKinnon more down left, and that's, it's Natchez high left, down left to MacKinnon, and then Makar activates. Makar sees a lane, and that's a change of pace. That's something we haven't quite seen on the power play, is Makar leaving that high position, that point guard position, and he cuts down into the slot. MacKinnon finds him. That ties the game. And then, hey, I said he was unplayable, and he scores. You're welcome. Gavin Brindley, who is now playable. Hey, right spot, right time. Just get net front, find a rebound. Good job, Sam Malinsky. Good finish, Gavin Brindley.
Yeah, great finish.
That's a ho-hum win. I mean, that was just a better team taking care of business on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, he got a little bit nervous during that game where Colorado's down 1-0 for the majority and they're out shooting. Like, there was a stretch of 18 or 19 straight minutes where Chicago simply did not have a shot on goal this afternoon in Denver. You're out shooting them 16-4 at one point midway through that second period, and it feels as though, all right, finally something's going to break. It's not just going to be Spencer Knight and Chicago kind of shutting you out the whole day. Unfortunately, the power play continues to suck. They have another opportunity where they don't shoot the puck, and guess who it is, man? Like, I know Cale scored tonight, and he scores twice, right? He gets the empty netter. He still doesn't want to shoot the puck, and all you have to do is not necessarily look at the power play. Look at the shorthanded opportunity he had with Parker Kelly and Jack Drury today, where they essentially have a 3-on-1 down a man on the ice, and Cale has the puck inside the hash marks with nobody in front of him, just him and the goaltender. And what does he do? He tries to slide it one more time back door to Parker Kelly. Brother, you scored 100 points last year. Shoot the puck.
Maybe he's afraid of missing the net.
I mean, honestly, he looks like he's either got the yips or he's trigger shy right now. Dude, you are the most talented offensive defenseman in the league right now. When you have the puck in between the hash marks, nobody else exists on the ice.
Yeah, I did think it was one of his. I thought he was the best player on the ice tonight, though.
Yes.
He was real clean. He was aggressive. He was the most poppy Avs player tonight. He's a +2. He does get an empty netter, but 3 shots on goal. He was the most noticeable, cleanest ab tonight. Um, I thought Gabe Landeskog was better tonight. I thought that, he was popping more. He was a +2 with 4 shots on goal. Didn't get an assist, but I don't think it's a coincidence that Gabe was a little better, a little more aggressive. Had a great look in the slot. Nice little deep slot shot from Gabe Landeskog that had some life to it in the early stages of this game. They were clean defensively. The Makar-Taves pairing was very solid defensively, top to bottom. They're not missing a beat. No Sam Girard. And obviously on the defensive end, Kulak's going to bring a little bit more. And you saw that real strong 6-man defensive group. It was, nothing broke. They just allow a power play goal today. That's it. And, Blackwood takes one off the shoulder. But other than that, he didn't see a lot of volume his way, only makes 14 saves, but just didn't allow Chicago to get a lot on their offensive end. They were clean. It did strike me again watching this game. They are struggling scoring goals. It's not easy right now. They had to play very clean defensively, and they just got a professional win. But, they didn't blow the doors off these dudes, even though they thoroughly outshot them throughout the game. This, if the Avs are on their A game, this is 6-1. This should have been 6-1. But, they're in a little bit of a kind of finding their footing phase, and that's going to happen in the ebbs and flows of a long season. They just kind of willed themselves to a win today with just a good, solid performance.
I'm certainly of the mindset right now that winning with style points doesn't matter to me. Maybe a little bit later on in the season, I want to see them kind of like step on the gas and show that they can put a bunch of goals in the net, or in a close game against a really good team. And Chicago they're young and they're starting to figure out what the next evolution of the Blackhawks. I think you saw that tonight. You go, oh, there's like Lev Shinov is legit. And Bedard, like the goal that goes in tonight, the power play goal it's just an elite shot from a guy who has an elite release. They've got some really good young players.
Really like Nazar. Nazar is a really good young player.
Really good player. I love how Connor Murphy plays. I think Spencer Knight being a bona fide number one today. Like you see the building blocks that Chicago's putting in right now. They're not ready, but they're building. I want to see them win a couple of games later on in the year where it's like, hey, here's the style points. Here's the 6-1 win against Nashville. Here's the 5-0 or the 5-2 win with just one empty net goal against a team like, I don't know, like Columbus or New York or something like that. I know they don't play them again, but you catch my drift of that ilk of team. And then you get up into a game, maybe Friday against Dallas, but I still think it's a little bit too early considering that's trade deadline. But one of those later on games where you win a 2-1 hockey game and it's tough, and the deciding goal is a power play goal for you. Like the judges put up the 9 and 10 cards for me. Right now, I only care about points. I only care about extending that lead in the Central Division so that you feel a little bit more breathing room and you're confident and comfortable that the 1 seed is yours.
Yeah, it's just really hard to consistently dominate no matter how good you are throughout the course of the season. So right now they're in this stretch where it almost looked today, and I know the Blackhawks are not going to be a playoff team in all likelihood, but it looked like a playoff style game. Just be mindful of your positioning, minimize the mistakes, capitalize on your opportunities, keep it close, keep it low scoring. It's not the prettiest, but and I know, hey, it's Chicago. They're not a playoff team, but it's still a style. I watch them right now, and yes, they look like they're just a tick out of rhythm in terms of that explosiveness, in terms of winning game 6-1 or whatever it is. But I project the style of play that they had today to what that would look like in the playoffs, even against a higher level opponent. It's going to be, in round 2, it's going to be Dallas or Minnesota. When you play responsible, you'll get the goals. You'll get the opportunities. This team is going to score in the playoffs. They're going to get it going again. Playing clean defensively leads to a couple of opportunities offensively that could be of the fluke variety. They're gonna get goals. They're too talented. I like that it was a playoff vibe today. And I know that sounds weird to say, given it was Chicago. But it was that very mindful of how important too a game like this is at LA, at Anaheim, at Dallas coming up. It's going to be tough versus Minnesota, versus Edmonton. Your next 5 are tough. It might be 3-2. It might be something like that. You had to focus yourself and get the 2 points today. Don't beat yourself. The goal was do not beat yourself today. And when that happened, you're able to beat a Chicago Blackhawks team, a young team like that. So
Yeah,
well done. Not their best, but well done.
Storch on Twitch, I think he sums up what you just said. They played responsible today.
Yeah.
And
get the win. Get the 2 points.
I like that because now you look at the standings, right? There's no more games in hand against Dallas, but there's a gap between you and Dallas from 87 to 79 points, and that feels breathable. A couple of nights ago, after you lose that Minnesota game and you only have 2 games in hand on Minnesota, but that gap is 5 points, that feels like at the end of the week, if you have a bad week and Minnesota continues to roll, like first place could be gone like that. You look at it now, you have 2 games in hand on the Wild, and your lead is now extended to 7 points, which is, again, why I say continue to look around the league as to what happens. Minnesota losing yesterday to Utah 5-2 makes it an 81-game season. The game was never played, and that's why these points this week are so important. You have to guarantee that you get at least 2 of the 4 in your back-to-back against California because there's an absolute bloodbath. You thought Oklahoma City and Denver was a bloodbath last night in overtime on the hardwood. Wait until Friday night in Dallas.
Yeah, it's attrition right now. It's survive and take advantage of the schedule, take advantage of an opportunity that's given to you. Does not have to be pretty. That's so overrated. Don't care. Now that you're in the back half of the season, things tighten up. Crucial that they get 2 points against Chicago today. Didn't matter what it looked like. Was a good performance, wasn't their best, got the 2 points, 100% A+, mission accomplished because it's attrition. Did you get the 2 points? It's pass fail. It's literally just pass fail right now. And they passed today. Look at the best team in the East right now, Tampa. They're getting their doors blown off 5-1 hosting Buffalo today. You know, Buffalo's a sneaky team. You don't want that right now. You don't want that, though. Either way, you know, Buffalo's better than Chicago, but you don't want to be on the back end of something like that today. Had they lost this game, had, Brindley not been net front, had they not converted on an essential power play goal, wasn't technically, but was for all intents and purposes, that's a nightmare scenario if they don't get 2 points against Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Because
now, again,
the schedule, you had to get it. You just simply had to get it. And it was, and they need Nathan MacKinnon to blow up here. When they go out west, they're going to need Nathan MacKinnon to blow up. Haven't seen it in his 2 games back, 3 games overall. He missed the first. You're going to need Nathan MacKinnon to get you some points. You're going to need him to get you some goals. Hasn't scored in his 2 games back. But you survived. You got the win. Kale was great. Looking for Nate to blow up on this West Coast trip. Need Nate to go big.
Nate needs to go big. I'm looking at the stats right now, brother. You might be kissing the Hart Trophy goodbye, and you might be kissing the Art Ross goodbye as well. Those things they might be Connor McDavid's. And he only has a 5-goal lead on McDavid for the Rocket Richard. When we were talking about at the beginning of the season, could he sweep every award? There was a good chance. He's gone kind of cold. And Cale Makar now just getting his 60th point of the season. We're used to over the past 3 seasons talking about Cale Makar, how he has the massive lead on the next best scoring defenseman. Dude, he's 9 points behind Evan Bouchard right now. Those 2 players, over the course of their last 10, 12 NHL games, haven't been great in terms of production. As you said earlier on today, Spring, it's hard. There's nothing easy out here, right? There is nothing easy out here.
Dude, this LA game on Monday is going to be a battle. Now, the Avs are the better team. There's no doubt about it, but that's...
No Kevin Fiala out for the season.
Even so. And look, okay, the Kings just got crushed in Edmonton. I was actually watching a ticket this game last night, 8-1, which is good. What's Panarin's deal? Let's see. Panarin did play.
Panarin's playing for him.
Okay. You know they're going to be pissed coming off of an 8-1 loss, but still, that's going to be tight. I mean, that's got 3-2 overtime written all over it, is what that game has. You need your stars. Cale Makar, despite the good performance tonight, Zach Werenski is your favorite to win the Norris right now. MacKinnon's still your favorite to win the Hart, although Kucherov now in second.
I don't know how that hasn't changed, dude. He's trailing McDavid by 10 points. And I know it's a different award, Art Ross and Hart, but maybe it's just because of how dominant he was at the beginning of the season.
Sure.
Maybe. Yeah, and maybe he's now showing that he can still be dominant and he can make Marty Necas a point per game player. Maybe that's it. You were part of me as I trip over myself. You said you have to lean on your stars. Cale Makar, certainly one of them.
Yeah, of course it's frustrating. You want to go out there, but again, you can't have the mindset that we're going to score every single time we get on the ice. It's never going to be like that. Power plays aren't 100%. Power plays are whatever, 20, 25%. So for us, it's, again, just a reset after this break and coming back and making sure. Like I said, I felt like tonight, I don't know what the stats were, but I felt like we got some pucks in the net, generated some stuff, and then we were retrieving pucks really well and then breaking down some seams. So a lot of good stuff to build on.
Makar on the power play, the much maligned power play.
Okay, on the power play. I thought overall he was right. I mean, it was good. It was effective. They controlled the puck. They controlled the opportunities. If they played like they did today against the Dallas, might have been a different story. But it wasn't Dallas. And like Cale said, there was stuff to build on from today. They're coming off of a break. This is only the third game that they've played together, second with Nate. We talk about the odds in the Hart, and I brought up how important it is for MacKinnon to play well on this 3-game road trip. This 3-game road trip could be the odd shift. If MacKinnon has a weak 3-game road trip, that's when you see somebody else. You see these odds close. Maybe MacKinnon moves the plus money. He's minus 120 to win the Hart right now. Kucherov plus 285. McDavid plus 350. You would see a shift. You got to have it. You got to have Nate taken over, and he's got to make amends for that missed shot against Team 14. He hasn't done that yet. He's played well. Like, he had 2 assists today. He looked better today than he did against Minnesota. Cale was excellent. They played well overall. You're going to need Nate to be that superstar, though. Got to have that again.
Here's a little bit more from Cale Makar.
Yeah, of course it's frustrating. You want to go out there, but again,
I apologize. I added the wrong video. I'm sorry.
I'm down to listen to that again. I appreciate you even trying this. This is admirable that you're even trying this.
The thumbnails are very, very similar. So yes, I didn't realize I hit the wrong one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to all we wish we could score on every single power play, and I think that's what the fans expect. But for us right now, we just got to continue building it. I felt like there were times tonight that we did good things. We had good puck movement and generated some opportunities to the net. And again, I think that's just going to come the more and more we continue to work at that as a group. And obviously we all want to find a solution, but we just got to keep building.
He did feel relieved after he scored that goal. And it wasn't your typical Cale Makar rips something home, man. That was a bomb.
Well, and getting down into that,
as I say, tongue in cheek,
lower right slot, that's an area where Cale doesn't usually score on the power play. I mean, he has, but it's not his, he's scoring more from the point or low points, not more on the right side where he cut down to. But I like the adjustment. I liked Nature's high left and MacKinnon low right. Maybe that's a product of Nate just scoring that goal in Utah where Nate didn't play it. And now the coaching staff is thinking to themselves, let's try to get Nate more high left. And in that spot where he would be so comfortable, as like I said, if Nathan MacKinnon didn't exist. But also keep in mind, despite the power play struggles this season, Gabe Landeskog has not been a fixture on power play 1 this year. Didn't start the season on power play 1, has not played in 3 years before this. In the regular season last year, in that little stretch, but when Natchez was there, they're still figuring this out. We're about at the 1 year anniversary, just over the 1 year anniversary of Natchez being on this team, of Brock Nelson being on this team. And Nelson was not a fixture on this power play until just a couple months ago where they decided to go with him, which was a good move. They've been rotating, shuffling. I think they finally, and especially now that everybody's healthy, everyone's healthy right now. They know the unit they want to go with. They've only had limited run together. Landeskog has not been on power play 1 for that many reps this year. And so they figured a couple new things out tonight. They're going to continue to figure new things out. It's still a work in progress personnel wise.
I still think I want them to change Natchez off the top unit. I still think I want him out.
I'm with you. I am. But they seem hell-bent on it. So if you are going to be hell-bent on it, then okay, I like trying him high left. That's something we haven't seen. It was something different. Just figure it out.
Did you notice something tonight on the blue line that Jared Bednar tried out a couple of times?
What was it?
Cale Makar played with Brett Kulak.
Okay.
Handful of shifts, and I didn't hate it.
I mean, Makar and Taves are so good that you trust them with anybody. And obviously, Kulak left-handed shot would work well with Cale, and maybe that's a way to get Brett going. Like, hey, playing with Sam Malinsky is one thing. Playing with Cale Makar is another thing, and that might,
of course,
that could get you going a little bit, get you a little more comfortable with the system overall.
Taves and Malinsky played 4 minutes together at 5-on-5. Kulak and Makar played 2 minutes together at 5-on-5, and they typically went Taves, Makar, Burns, Manson, Kulak, and Malinsky. That's your 6 pair. But Bednar did allude to the fact after they got Kulak that there could be a possibility of Brett playing with Cale at some point, and we've seen it as early as now, just his 3rd game as a member of the Colorado Avalanche. I wouldn't hate seeing a little bit more experimentation just to know if you have to move Devon Taves down the lineup a little bit more to shelter, I don't know, to maybe shelter Brent Burns if he's not having his best day, to maybe shelter a Sam Malinsky if it looks as though you're playing against a really heavy team and he's not necessarily stepping up to it. However, I don't think Sam has been that player to shy away from physical play he's not undersized. He's just not big, right? Like, he's not Sam undersized. He's a smaller, slighter defenseman. I don't think he has like withered away in physical. Guru's right. He's average size. He's mid-sized. If one of those players has ended up having a bad couple of games against a more physical style like Vegas or Dallas can bring to you, having the ability to put Devon Taves on your second unit, your second pairing, would really help you.
Yeah, a few things there. One, I mean, it's a luxury, and I think it's something you'd want, the ability to double shift Makar and Taves. They're gonna play, especially when it really counts. They're gonna play they're gonna play upwards of 30 minutes a night. I mean, it's gonna be in like the 27s.
Yeah, they'll be between 25 and 28 in the playoffs.
25 to 28. I mean, you're gonna see those. And so if the conditioning that they're in and the level that they play at, if they're playing that many minutes, help a Kulak out, help a Malinsky out. Obviously Makar and Taves are great together, but any defenseman's play is going to elevate when they are paired with either Makar or Taves. But another thing too is, watching Gavin Brindley score tonight, and man, I need to pull his game log up, but obviously it's been a while since he's scored. And it's, reminding me that it feels like there's been a handful of Avs players who it's been a hot second who they've had since they've had consistent goal scoring success. And look, some of them are from areas that are not going to be, in theory, places where you're expecting great consistency, but Sam Malinsky, I just had to pull it up here because I'm like, man, it's been a while since this dude has scored. It's been since December 12th. December 12th. He did not score in January. He has not scored in February. Now, is Sam Malinsky a very good, promising, mid to late 20-year-old defenseman who had college experience? Yes, he has shown, like, there's a reason that Sam Girard was expendable, but Malinsky has kind of hit a little bit of a lull here. Now, great to see him get a shot on net. Great to see it get off the pads and get into a well-positioned Gavin Brindley for the putback. but anything you can do to spark a Malinsky right now, get Kulak more comfortable. Like, look, you're playing with Sam Malinsky if you're Brett Kulak. You just came over in a trade. Okay, this is how the system is supposed to look like. But then you play with Kale and you're like, oh, no, this is how the system is supposed to look like, because no offense to Sam Malinsky, but Kale McCarr is just going to execute it cleaner and crisper and at a higher level. So it's just going to give Brett Kulak more insight as to what they actually are looking to accomplish with their D pairs playing off of their forwards.
Certainly looked good tonight. He's the type of guy that you have to rely on. He's got such a heavy shot for being, I guess, your sixth defenseman right now and still being so young in this league. He did create multiple opportunities. He is going to get high. He's going to score a big time goal. I think he will score a big time goal in the playoffs for them at some point. Just to get, he's got the ability to walk down and rip a 94-mile-an-hour clapper in stride. Like, he's got the ability. The shot that he had tonight where he froze the high side Chicago player that leads directly to Brindley's goal, that's coming off of his stick at like 85.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a heavy shot.
Yeah, wasn't it? It was Taves who ripped that. I think they said on the broadcast 83 miles an hour right off of Spencer Knight's face. Busted his face mask open. Had to stop the play. Guru in the chat asked, who's the Avs 7th D-man now? That's been something I've been thinking about. Like, I could see them looking to add that true, and I know it's a little thing, but if anyone were to go down, who's that 7D you rely on? Can Eric Johnson come out of retirement? Do we want to do that?
Get him in between periods from the booth?
But that's a low, an under the radar type thing, but something that I could see, because they're going to be active. They're going to be active this upcoming week, and I do expect it still to be a respectable forward, but I do think if there's another need, it's just who's that emergency D.
The emergency D could be, it's probably not Keaton Middleton. It might be Jacob McDonald.
I haven't seen him in a hot second. Was always a fan of his.
He's healthy now and he's playing. We saw minutes from Ronnie Attard. We saw minutes from Wyatt Amat earlier on this season. It could be Sean Behrens, the former DU. He's a former DU Pioneer, I think.
Yes,
Sean Behrens.
I believe so.
But I don't know if they would want Behrens in there unless a guy like Malinsky or McCarr.
Feels like I've been hearing that name for years.
Yeah, he was always a high upside, like puck moving D-man to see if he could play at that level. I don't think Behrens is a long-term NHL defenseman.
Feels like he would have been here by now, because he was one of those dudes from years ago.
Because he's 23 now, right? And he's been talked about for so many years, Behrens. Yeah, he's 23 now.
It reminds you that they get drafted at 18, and even 5 years is still 23. Must be nice.
No, I can use my buddy Brian Yoon. Yooner could see a couple of minutes. He's 6'1", 185.
Hey. Anything,
dude. I played like multiple charity hockey tournaments with Brian Yoon when he was playing at CC. He's a great dude, really good skater, and I thought he was like one of those guys who's going to play 4 years in college and just be kind of done. And he's worked his way through the East Coast League. He's worked his way onto an AHL roster with the Avalanche. Like, I don't know. Could he find a way in? I talked about how 23 was old. Yooner's got to be 28 now, but 6'1", 180 is a right-handed defenseman.
Hey, like I said, man, anything's better than Keaton Middleton. So I'll take it.
Oh, all right, Spring. That's about it. Not really any news around the league in terms of trades. There were some rumors being talked about how like Dallas is hard in on Nazem Kadri. Colorado is calling about Nazem Kadri. Vinny Trocheck's name is being thrown around. Steven Stamkos, his name was being thrown around. Could he be a Dallas Star or a Vegas Golden Knight, or would he be moved back to Tampa Bay? It did come out today that Stamkos said that there's no chance he's going to get traded. So it looks as though Stammer's going to stay in Nashville.
Well, how about this score right here, man? How about this score? We're early in the second period in Dallas. Nashville leads 2-0. Stamkos, even strength, put him up 2-0.
Has he scored 30 yet? He's got to be close to it.
I don't have totals up there, but he's got to be. Yeah, he's
got to be really close to 30.
So, and that's a double-edged sword right there. Like on one hand, yay, Dallas is down 2-0. On the other hand, more belief for Nashville that they should not just sell at the deadline.
Yeah, that is number 30 for Steven Stamkos, career goal number 612. He is currently number 19 all time. He has just 13 goals to go to tie former Avalanche players Joe Sakic and Jerome Iginla. The next player is number 16, Dave Andreychuk at 640. And then active, Sidney Crosby is 15th all time with 652 goals. Stammer will hit 700 before he calls it quits. That'll put him firmly in the top 10. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. What a great hockey player that guy is.
Yeah, no, 30 goals at this stage of his career after it looked like he was trending downwards. If Nashville decided to trade him, that's a difference maker. Whoever were to get Steven Stamkos, that's if he gets moved, which maybe he doesn't, but if he were to, whoever gets him, that's going to pay dividends. He's having a good season.
Great season. I don't know if they're going to trade him. I think he kind of wants to stay in Nashville. There's probably still a little bit of sting and a little bit of a bad taste in his mouth with the way that Tampa Bay treated him and said, listen, dude, we're just simply not going to pay you. We're not going to offer you anywhere near what you want. It was a bad breakup between Steven Stamkos and the Tampa Bay Brass, which everyone's, could the Lightning trade back for him? Well, the Lightning would have to guarantee that they're getting retained salary from the Predators, and they're not going to do that on Stamkos' deal. And Stammer would have to approve the contract, man. I don't think, or rather the acquisition. I don't think he's going to Tampa. I think he's staying in Nashville.
Well, I mean, he was a career Lightning, and that's going to hurt more. But now that, Nashville's good, but we talked about this last show, they're not going to win a cup. He could look at it and say, hey, I do want to go play for a team that could win a cup. Let's see, $8 million next year and the year after. And that just, unless they're retaining, it's that year after. It's that, because that's the season that Kale would kick in. So that's what makes Kadri a tough fit. But again, I'll look at Ryan O'Reilly, because only one more year left on that deal. That's still who I want. And hey, look, even if Nashville wins in Dallas tonight, that's a great win, but you know who you are. Come on, look in the mirror. Tell me you know who you are. You know who you are. But hell yeah, let's go Preds tonight. I mean, what a day this could be. Minnesota loses last night. Avs get a professional 2 points against Chicago. Dallas comes away with nothing. We're trending in that direction. That's a Saturday right there, folks.
Yeah, you quickly forget about what happened to Minnesota if Dallas loses in regulation this evening to Nashville. You will take the Utah Mammoth and the Nashville Predators, Central Division rivals, getting points. As long as it's anybody but Minnesota and Dallas, you can win every game from here on out.
Yeah, don't mind that at all. And look, it's a tough time of year. Nashville's competitive. Utah's competitive. That's a look back. That's a great win without MacKinnon to open in Utah. That's a good win out of the gates.
That's a playoff team.
Then Utah beats Minnesota. Nashville beats Dallas. Like, tough league, man. Tough league. These aren't 7-game series right now. These are one-offs. And
all right,
you
Spring.
catch them on any given night. Dallas is finding out right now. Nashville, and the Avs know. The Avs struggled against Nashville this year. It's tough league. Tough-ass league.
The next time that you and I get out on our digital airwaves is going to be like close to midnight on Monday night, because I'm doing network, which means we're going to be delayed by about a half hour. That it's like an 8:30 start Mountain Time, might be 8:42 Mountain Time on Monday night against the LA Kings. So there's a really good chance Spring and I don't get on the air until like almost midnight. Between now and midnight, on Monday evening, do we see any one of the Athletics' top 10 trade chips moved? Vinny Trocheck, Blake Coleman, Dougie Hamilton, Justin Falk, Nazem Kadri, Evander Kane, Andrew Mangiapane, Warren Fogle, Ryan O'Reilly, Jordan Binnington. Do any one of those 10 players move between now and when you and I next speak on Monday night?
So tough to say, but yes, probably. I mean, it's going to start coming. Sunday morning, Monday morning is usually around 10 a.m. Feels like usually around like 10 a.m. Mountain is when that's that Twitter sweet spot of, oh shit, this just went down. And look, it's starting, and I think tomorrow, Monday morning, certainly, reset that cache on that cachet on the NHL, news feed, the news wire, and shit's about to go down. And the Avs are going to be involved. Who makes the first move, though? I mean, Minnesota's going to make a move. Dallas is going to make a move. Probably multiple moves for all these teams, and as will Colorado. So it's starting, and it could start as early as tomorrow morning.
I kind of want Colorado to make the first move and make Dallas and Minnesota panic a little bit. And then you create some bidding wars. Like maybe you go and you overpay for Ryan O'Reilly just a little bit. Just a little bit. Now, they overpaid, or a lot of people think they overpaid with the Sam Girard deal, but Sam's value had the high watermark of Sam's value came and went about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think it was so very clear that with the extra years on the deal, you were going to have to throw in a sweetener. A second felt like a little bit too much to me, but they knew they had to move salary. They knew they had to get rid of a big time weakness on their D side, which was size on the left side. And they also had to open up cap space for the future with Cale Makar's extension coming up, his ability to sign the extension this coming off season. I want them to make a move. And if it means that they have to sweeten up a deal with another first rounder in there or something like that to get Ryan O'Reilly and then force Dallas and Minnesota to go head to head for the remaining centers on the market, I'd really like them to do that. And then you kind of sit and you wait and you do nothing. And if you see a seventh defenseman at, 1 p.m. or 11 a.m. on Friday, go make that move for hardly anything. And then we're ready to go to the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would like them to do that too, especially if they have, and I'm sure they do have somebody that they're targeting. And Minnesota and Dallas are going to be in on the same, pool of players, pool of targets, from the forward group that Colorado is. So if you have a guy you like, don't let Minnesota get him. Don't let Dallas get him. That being said, I could see it going away where Minnesota makes a move and Minnesota's like, we did it. Look at us. We're geniuses. And then Dallas makes a move and they're like, gotcha. We're coming for you, Colorado. And it's like, what are the Avs going to do? What are the Avs going to do? And then they do something where Minnesota and Dallas are like, fuck.
We had them.
We thought they just one-upped us at the last minute. At the 11th hour, Colorado swoops in and does something that makes them think, geez, we thought we closed the gap a little bit for like 2 hours. And then Colorado just widened the gap again.
All right, that's going to do it. Avs win 3-1, a very business-like victory for them. I do have give me one moment here. I do believe I have a locker room report from our buddy Darren McKee. If you want to hear what DMAC has to say, the locker room felt like. Actually, hold on. I have to put this to my computer, I think, and then I have to. You know what? This is ridiculous. It's too difficult to do this on an iPad for some reason. This pisses me off.
Hey, play around with it. I don't give a shit, dude. Take your time. Sort it out. Get your P's and Q's. Show is, for all intents and purposes, over right now. So this is free. This is extra innings. This is free baseball. Just be happy that you're here and that you're viewing this. Look, DMAC, he didn't join us live. And he didn't.
No, he sent me a video.
Yeah, what's going on here? Now he's video guy. Now he's pre-recorded video guy.
I have pre-recorded video, and without further ado, here is D-Max locker room availability.
All right, what up, Raj? Spring 3-1, the win for the Avs, and the power play struggles sort of continue. Bednar made a joke about scoring in 2 minutes and 4 seconds as Cale Makar got a goal just after a power play expired, and Cale was kind of repeatedly asked about it today. Bednar said it's a fine line between good and bad, and that's kind of where they are right now, and they completely dominated the Blackhawks. They deserve this win. And guess what? Get ready to see more of Mackenzie Blackwood. If you had that vibe, Bednar more or less made that official. He's trying to get him more time. He's their number one guy, and they'll look for spots to have Wedgwood come in. But as long as he's playing okay, and he certainly played okay in this game, look for Mackenzie Blackwood to be more of a contributor. Also, Gavin Brindley got off the schneid scoring a goal, which was gargantuan. First goal since December 11th, and he was pumped up about it. So, yeah, Cale and the kids. So expect more moments kind of like that as we go. Really nice win for the Avs. Like I said, they did dominate. They deserved the win, and they ended up getting it with Cale and the kids in a fine line between good and bad. Isn't that the story of our lives?
I'm really glad we played that. Figuring out that Jared Bednar is leaning into Mackenzie Blackwood, and we're kind of moving away from this split stance between Wedgwood and Blackwood and who goes on what night and do you ham and egg it. That's a good little tidbit there for the final 20 games of the season. What is the percentage of Blackwood to Wedgwood? I'm going to assume it's going to be 75-25 based off of what D-Mac said.
Yeah, no, I am. You're right. That's the number one thing I wanted to react to there. Didn't even really set in, but they do decide to go with Blackwood for a second straight start. And yeah, we've talked. He's the guy. He's supposed to be the guy. But what's funny about it, the two Blackwood starts we saw, and he was good. He was good against Minnesota. He wasn't the reason they lost that game, and he was good today. Not a high volume of shots against him today, but he was good. He was good. Wedgwood was better. Wedgwood was better in the Mammoth start. Would you agree?
Yes.
I thought so. So that's just interesting, two straight starts of Blackwood. He's primed to be the guy. They're grooming him to be the guy. If he is the guy, I have no problem with it. He's playing well. I don't know. Wedgwood's playing really well. It's not a knock on Mackenzie, who, again, is playing well. Wedgwood looked really good against Utah. So I don't know. Is Wedgwood starting Monday in LA? Or, I mean, there's days off. You can go back to Blackwood if that's the real thing. Wedgwood's, is this a back-to-back, Raj?
It's a back-to-back. I think you throw Blackwood Monday night against LA. I think you throw Wedgwood Tuesday against Anaheim, and then you throw Blackwood against Ottinger in Dallas Friday night at 6 p.m.
That makes sense. Yeah, because again, Blackwood's being primed to be the guy, and that sets him up for the Dallas start against Ottinger, and it makes him start 2 out of the 3. Which is you're very clearly the one when you're starting 2 out of the 3. But hey, you're probably right. So if Wedgwood goes out there Tuesday in Anaheim with a tired team in front of him, and he steals that game,
my rule. What's my rule on goalies? If you pitch a 0, you go the next night. I don't care who it is. I don't care how well the other guy played. You pitch. Like, if Wedgwood comes out and he shuts out Quenneville and the Ducks, I'm throwing Wedgwood on Friday night. That's my rule. It's my blind rule.
He just kind of has this way about him right now where he's making this decision so tough on Jared Bednar. He's making it undeniable. So that's going to be fascinating to see again, it's the team might be in a little bit of a goal scoring struggle bus right now, but when you have the goaltending that they have, I mean, it bails you out. It got Team USA a gold medal, So the Wedgwood Blackwood factor is gigantic for this team.
All right, fellas and ladies, we'll talk to you guys on Monday night, late Monday night, like close to midnight Mountain Time after the Avs take on the LA Kings. You can listen to that game, I believe, on AM 950 because we've got a Nuggets game that night as well, or worldwide on the Altitude Sports Radio mobile app, as Connor McGahee says. But for Spring, I'm Raj. Avs win 3-1. They continue to extend their lead in the Central Division. Enjoy your Sunday. Have a great evening. Predators currently lead the Dallas Stars with 5 minutes to go in the second period in Dallas by a score of 2-0. So cross your fingers and hope that that score holds through the next 25 minutes of game time. And if there are any big-time trades between now and Monday night, Spring and I will hop on and do something if there's a big-time trade. If they
like
trade for...
one.
Yeah, if they trade for like Logan Stanley, I don't know if I'm hopping on and I'm doing for something. But if Sidney Crosby's coming to Colorado, we'll be right there.
Hell yeah, brother.
Later.